Hello, welcome to the Futurist Mindset. We are featuring Silver Swann Enterprises, Fifth Avenue Capital, and WORTHYdomes. Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa. Before we dive into the show, I'd like to introduce you to our host. He's over here, Regan. Hello, Regan.
Hello, Tessa. How are you on this Friday afternoon?
I'm lovely, thank you. And Regan Rodriguez is a futurist that teaches stratosphere wealthy legacy families how to become impact investors. He's a hedge fund manager at Fifth Avenue Capital, as well as a fund manager for his own fund, WORTHYdomes, and is known by his clients as a futurist. So we are excited to introduce, first of all, you and this show, which will be on every week and featuring, futurist mindset topics and really important projects that we want to share with you all. Today is Silver Swann Enterprise. So do you want to introduce our guests from Silver Swann?
Absolutely. What I was thinking just now is that I know that there's a lot of viewers that are thinking, how can I learn from this? How can I apply what I'm learning? And maybe it can help me in my career. Maybe you have a job and you'd like to be promoted, or maybe you don't like that job and you're ready to start a business for yourself, right? And you're thinking, well, what's the key? What do I have to do? And what I was just thinking when we were talking beforehand with the folks at Silver Swann, and you and I had a call with them yesterday, is that they're very good with people. They're great with dealing with me. And this is why they're the first people on the show that I'm doing, because at the end of the day, that's how people get promoted. When you think about it in jobs, it's not always the hardest worker, but it's the person that gets along with the person that's above him. Well, guess what? When you're in business for yourself, the same thing. You're going to have suppliers, you're going to have vendors you're dealing with. And if you want things to go better for you, you want to negotiate better, having rapport with him or her is what will help you. So with that being said, I think we should introduce the team at Silver Swann, because They are all very good with people. They are very good with dealing with me. And there you are, Melissa. And so these are my friends from California here that are putting something together that is not just humanitarian, it is cutting edge. So why don't I turn it over to you, Tessa, and you can introduce the Silver Swann team.
Oh, well, I can, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to introduce
yes, that's okay. I can if you want. How about you?
Go for it.
Well, I will let you do it. I'm not sure that I would be able to do it as well as you've been working with them and helping them to get this project out there. And thank you guys for everyone who's watching live with us. Just leave a comment, say hashtag live or hashtag replay if you're catching the replay, because we see you. We are live. This is a fun thing. That's why sometimes things don't go as planned, but
let me actually first begin by saying, you guys noticed that sometimes I was saying comments that really weren't that funny. They were just kind of funny, but Tessa thought they were funny. It's not that I'm actually that funny. It's that Tessa has this nervous laughter, and so she tends to chuckle. So that goes for you, Melissa, Glenn, Richard. Tessa will make your self-image go up by about 3 notches. Okay.
But I legitimately think there is a lot of humor in the world. So I am definitely, it's very real. It's very real.
Thank you on that. So Glenn, you and I met, I guess it was almost about a year ago.
That's about right. Yes.
And a mutual friend of mine had introduced us. And I just remember when we got on that, we had a Zoom meeting and we just got along right away.
Yes.
From there, we spoke again. We then had another conversation. Then from there, you introduced me to Melissa and Richard, and it was like a love fest we were on, right? We all got along really well. From there, I just said, look, Glenn, I love your idea. You guys have this great idea. Now we just need to put that on paper and put together a business plan.
Right.
So the three of them got together and they all put in their 2 cents, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had my analyst, Donna, that a lot of you know,
Yes.
obviously all of you know, she made the business plan even better and we perfected things. And I think that's enough of hearing from me. Why don't we turn it over to you, Glenn?
Okay. Thank you, Reagan. That's great. Yes. And actually it's been about a year or so. It's but this we've progressed very well, and we have a not only a development plan, but we have an entire concept, but which we call the Silver Swann system. And
Yes.
that's in fact Melissa can mention it, but she's been approached by a publisher to publish a book regarding it because it's so state of the art, like what you said, Reagan.
Yeah.
Revolutionary.
In communities. What, Melissa?
I said revolutionary.
Yeah, that's right.
Or as Melissa calls it, futurist mindset.
Yeah,
for any of you that think my ego's up there by calling myself a futurist, I'm not a self-proclaimed futurist. My clients call me a futurist. Isn't that right, Melissa?
You're living it, yes.
and this project is. It's got futurist written all over it.
Yes, yeah, it's just things like energy efficient dwellings and communities. Not just you might think of solar energy or wind energy, but no, this has got geothermal. That's got roof panels, roof windows that absorb sun and turn it into electricity. It's got farm to table through greenhouses that can produce food all year long. That's kind of an overview. I'll let Melissa go into it a little bit.
Sure. I would love to. And those are some of the details of our Silver Swann system, which we have a copyright on and which was mentioned about being put in the book. And we're in preliminary stages of that. But basically, I wanted to kind of talk about, the whole idea of what we're doing and how it ties into development. So I think some of the words that are appropriate here are intelligent design, the integration with meeting the true needs of people, as Reagan was saying, people for the people, and these two words are important: affordable, practical living.
Yes.
And the practical being huge in this, and healthy living. So I want to say maybe affordable, practical, healthy living, but it's the integration of the design meet. So it's the two worlds meeting together to create something really awesome for people that they need. And just if I could talk for just a moment about affordable and practical, there's so many things in the world that are so good for people, but how do we bring it into people's lives in a real way? And that's what this idea is about. It's about creating the platform. So we have sustainable energy, eco-friendly systems and Glenn outlined those in detail. And on our Silver Swann systems, you can look more into what they are. Yeah. And it's also combining the affordability and the practicality. And a nice little example of that would be our senior community within the development, which is going to be based on the WORTHYdomes, which is a green leading edge. It's the global module leader in alternative housing, or just housing of the future. And maybe we could just say housing of the future. So that's an example. They're gorgeous, they're practical, they're affordable. And we're also going into creating a community, creating a surrounding that will grow with the people. And I'll let Glenn and Richard kind of talk about that. There is a part which is sustainable businesses being integrated into the community. It's really exciting.
Sure, it is exciting. Yes, and that's why, Reagan. That's why the name of our company is Silver Swann Enterprises. Melissa's last name is Swann. There's no coincidence there, because Melissa, this is kind of her passion,
yes,
and her dreams kind of coming true, the way I see it. And she's, even though we talked about it, Melissa is really the one that kind of started everything going. And then Richard came on to talk about, especially because Richard's in the health business, or
Yes. Has a
talk
health
about-
background. Yes.
yeah, the background. So for like what Melissa mentioned, affordable housing or senior housing, that's something that Richard has worked with for many years. So that's why I think we have a really good team between Melissa, myself, and Richard. We can really put it together. Don't you think so, Richard?
Great
Yeah,
balance.
I think the diversity of our organization, we all have different strengths and we all have many decades of experience. And just as Reagan was saying in the beginning about growth with experience, that's what it's all about. When you start out with something, you're still a student, you're still a novice. But after decades of experience, you're comfortably making all the right choices. And in healthcare, it exists on many levels. There's the physical, there's the emotional, there's the mental, there's the spiritual. And looking into business, like having a clinic, and I've worked in hospitals, at private clinics, you got to look holistically about what's going on, not in a limited way, which the strength of Western medicine is that they're good with the limited. But people know for 90% of patients, there are chronic issues, and you have to look holistically about what's going to benefit them. And any living environment plays a big role, such as a hospital. If there's color in the room versus just white, makes a big difference. If they look out the window and they're seeing streams and forests, or a stream rather than a parking lot. So environment, and we're thinking about environments that are not in the city. So you have open land, you have open space, you have water, streams, etc. And yet it's accessible too. You can get closely to what you need. And especially for seniors and health issues, those environments are going to make a great difference about what they need and attracting them. And from the point of investors, this is where it's going. And I think for all of us, we see ourselves as futuristic. We see where things are going, what people need. And at any life, especially senior, but at any life, people want to be in a more comfortable environment. And more work is internet. So where you live cannot, like the five of us right now, it doesn't matter so much. So providing that proper environment, that, as Melissa's saying, is affordable, but yet is going to have all the benefits. And we're talking about, all these other things such as farm to table, geothermal, solar, hydroponic. There's all great possibilities of where these things can grow, and that we have a great environment for people to live in, that there's community center, that there's activities, and they're away from the city, but they're close to what they need. So what we're providing, it's there for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll have all the city services, of course, but if any of those should go down, we're self-sustainable. So, in other words, if the grid goes down or whatever, we can self-sustain. So we just want to make sure that we're covered, protected, and so our community is like a kind of a world of its own, functioning and sustainable on its own. So
yes, and growing and flourishing with the sustainable systems running through the community. And also, I just want to speak on another element that's so key here also is natural beauty. Tranquility streams running through the property. We have farm to table aquaponic greenhouses. We have so many things that really inspire people to want to live here, want to have their families here. This is going to be a community for younger people, middle-aged people, and seniors. So it's very integrative, and it's very exciting with these sustainable systems and the elements of beauty running through it. So when you get up in the morning at this community, you're going to be excited. Like, yes, this is gorgeous. This is fun. And then having the different amenities that people need as well. So things like saltwater swimming pools, walking areas, sitting areas, excuse me. And then we have some bocce ball and different types of kind of tranquility games to have around the property.
yeah, that name Tranquility is good, Melissa, because we were talking about a tranquility stream. When water flows, it gives off feelings of good, and relaxation, like a river, and if we have our own
And
river
the sound.
right there,
Mhm.
Yeah, and then also
Really?
with the saltwater pool, which is natural, with waterfalls coming into it, things like
Mhm.
that.
Indigenous
A
rock. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly, and a nice trail to walk and see the beauty of all the
Mhm.
vegetation, the trees, and the hills and the mountains, because this is kind of up in the foothills, but it's
Paradise.
close to the big
Yes.
cities, but it's real in the foothills in the country.
Mhm.
So you
And
feel
the
like you're
specific,
on vacation all the time. I think.
Right.
I want to live there.
Right, exactly.
and the homes, that we have the diversity of traditional homes,
Sure.
affordable A-frame homes, senior bungalow homes, and worthy domes. Those all give people a big diversity about what they want to live in. And as everybody's saying, keeping it affordable and a beautiful surrounding and a lot of community activity.
Exactly right.
It's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, and in fact, Reagan,
Yes.
we have a site that I think you're
Mhm.
going to probably cover.
Uh-huh.
That
Yes.
if anybody's interested,
Yes.
they can learn more, because we're just giving you overview, little highlights, but there's a lot more. There's a lot more depth in there in this project.
Mhm.
Yes.
And they
Do
can see the details for themselves.
Yes.
And we welcome any contact and any meetings. We really welcome that, and it would be so fun to have the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Sure would.
Do you want me to show them, Regan, how to get to the portfolio?
I would. Why don't you share that
Yes,
screen,
I will
please?
share that screen and
And
we'll walk through.
Go ahead. Let me see what you're first going to share.
Where
And
are
then,
we going first? Yes, so we are going to go to the portfolio page
and you know what I was
first.
going to say? If you're watching this, an easy way to go there is just hit worthycafe.org. If you hit worthycafe.org, I had it go directly to that site.
Oh,
Oh,
perfect.
you can do it that way
I can
too.
show you guys how it goes. Then
So, yeah,
worthycafe.org, and it's going to go there.
which
It's
I did
gonna.
that. Let's see if it is. There we go. I did that
there
this
it did.
morning.
It did decide to
So,
go. There you go.
Guys, I said that Silver Swann are one of my favorite clients. So look, they're right at the top of the page. So, and again, why did I do this? Yeah, I have an ulterior motive. Absolutely. I'll own up to that 100%. Okay. It's
Right.
my business, right? So
Yeah.
I have Club
Worthy Domes.
66, which uses my domes. They're like a Costco, but it's in Mali, Africa. You pay $6 a month and groceries get delivered to your door.
Wow.
And they also
Nice.
provide, and they grow those groceries through aquaponics, hydroponics, using my domes. So then you see my project in the center, and then let's get to who we're here to talk about. So
Let's
click
view the
where it
offering.
says Silver Swann.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Glenn will say, hey, don't be promoting the other deals, right?
He's like, wait a minute here. So we do have, this is the full PDF. So
Yeah.
you can actually browse it from here. You can download the PDF, or you can click on Invest Now to go check out more details about
Well,
it.
wait a minute. This is awesome idea. Who put this together? Who put that site together?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would
exactly.
be me, but that's
So
so
that-
sweet of you.
That wasn't nervous laughter. That was sincere right there, wasn't it?
Yes. Right.
It was. We
Right.
did design the new portfolio for Regan. Yes.
Looks good. Looks really good.
Well, you guys make
Yeah.
it easy. You have great pitch decks for sure. So
Thank you.
when you and this is one of the things that I want to bring to attention, because I was confused when I clicked on Invest Now. It will take you to a login screen, and when you log in, if you're not, I'm just gonna do that real quick from here.
Go for
I'm
it.
signed in, so it's gonna go to the sign in to the back end. But if you don't have an account yet, I'm just gonna show you so that you guys can see how that looks on here. So let me see if it'll let me go to the Silver Swann from here. When you click on it, you just need your name and email. You don't have to have a special account backend. You don't have to be anything but you. So you'll click on sign up and just put your email. Actually, you don't even need your name in there. So email, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then acknowledge these, and then it will give you access to the portfolio. So you'll be able to see this and go into the back end of it. So nice. But and did you want me to go ahead and show a little deeper?
I do, and I'm gonna share this. I know that on there they've got a video of the property. Yes. We don't want that for everybody unless you genuinely have an interest in wanting to invest, and you go to the community page and type in your email address. there is a video. We don't want to show it, but I mentioned to Glenn before we got on that I really had a dream last night. I woke up like at 3 a.m. and the dream was that, as a joke, I said, "Hey, Tessa, just show a few seconds of the video." And she showed like 3 seconds, and I go, "Okay, stop right there." And so, yeah, and Glenn said, "Regan, if that was a dream, must be a
It
reason.
must be.
Yeah, we need to do it.
We
really
need to do it.
Exactly.
It is beautiful. It's very beautiful, but we're not going to show you too much. So literally,
That's
I'm
it.
stopping it there.
Yeah, you'll have to log in to see it. That's
Yes,
it.
and
That's
you
all
can-
you're getting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you sign up in the back end, you'll see that video right at the top. When you go to, you'll click on the button actually says Why Silver Swann Enterprises at the top of the page. And that will give you information about this awesome team you guys have put together, your backgrounds. It talks about the whole opportunity.
Yeah, and just real quick about that quick shot that you showed on the video, the hills behind that, right behind those hills are ours too, but behind those hills is the Sequoia National Forest. What that means in California is basically if you could walk it, but it's too far, you could walk all the way up to Yosemite, right along the ridge, because it's all national forest all the way up to the Yosemite National Forest, and there's rivers and springs throughout that area.
Absolutely.
So
Sounds tranquil, very
that
tranquil.
means nothing will ever happen on those hills behind our development. So that little pristine valley, which is virgin land, that's where our community is going to rest, right there in that little pristine valley there. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And what you didn't see behind that is hotels and in the city. It's a city right behind it. So anyway, you
That's
can't get
the
any
both
closer.
worlds.
Yes,
Aw.
right. Exactly. Mhm.
Well, definitely. I know, Regan, if you wanted to wrap us up, I'm not sure if you're ready to wrap up for
am.
today, but I know you do have a 2-minute wrap up. And if we have any questions before we let Silver Swann go, if there are any questions and you want to type it in the chat, we can see your comments. So you can put questions. And if you think of it later, I'm sure that everyone on this stream will keep an eye on that post just to see if there's any questions. But we'll put all the links in the chat as well so that you guys can get to the portfolio and find out more. Again, you can sign up, and that's Fairmint. So do you want to say anything, Regan, really quick about Fairmint? I know you have all these projects. Is that something that you want to bring up?
No, I don't.
No,
There's
not
nothing
today.
to mention on that other than that is the funding portal that we use. I have a great relationship with the CEO, Joris, and also one of the co-founders, Thibault. Again, they're just integrity. They use circle.com. And again, I'm very cautious on who I associate with. I mean, when you think about this, how do we catch a cold? Right? You hang around somebody that has a cold. We know that because of what happened with COVID. So for that reason is why I'm cautious on who I associate with.
Well, you picked wonderful associates here at Silver Swann, for sure. They seem lovely.
Thank you.
All
you.
right. Well, awesome. Well, I'll let you guys go.
You want me to wrap up?
Regan will
Yeah.
wrap everything up for us. I'm going to put you on the spotlight so you have it all to yourself.
Okay. What I want to go over, I guess, if you're listening to this or you're watching this, is pay attention. What do I mean by that? You might find yourself, if you're like me, where you repeat a similar lesson until you respond differently to it, right? So one of the things I do is I pay close attention to a limiting or maybe a destructive pattern or a belief that may be holding me back from my next level of success, right? The challenge is that if you're going through a challenge right now, understand this, that offers you an opportunity to then interrupt an old way of thinking, an old way of feeling. You're also going to find that you continue to find yourself in the same scenario dealing with similar challenges or people until you learn what you need to know. So one of the things, so one of the things I do, Tessa, is my goal is I'm going to identify a lesson that has shown up more than once. So think about a time that you've had a lesson that's shown up more than once for you. And then the other thing that I just thought of is, what is your why? So if you're walking your own path, you're going to have its own unique challenges and struggles. And guess what? That's what's going to prime you for growth. You have specific lessons that you're going to learn along the way in reaching that vision. And only you can learn that. The challenges that you face are 100% in your path for your benefit if you see them that way. Now, this can be an easy one to forget. I know that happens to me. Your life's greatest teaching moments will come from your own personal experiences and the new self-awareness that comes with them.
Oh, that's so amazing. Thank you so much, Regan. I love this.
I'm looking in the chat here. I got a text from Aria, who is my intern. Are you seeing anything?
I didn't see any chats on the live.
Sent me a text asking me
let's do the question.
I would talk on health and energy and how important that is. So being the fact that Melissa talked about this, Richard also has a background in healthcare.
Do you want me to bring him back on?
No, I think let me think on this, because Aria is an intern of mine that really helps me out a lot. And he was just saying, hey, can you go over how your health and energy is important when it comes to business? So let me address that part. If you want to be a top performer, you must maintain good health and high energy, right? We need energy. We all have our reasons, and if you're like me, justifications for doing something, right? Whether it takes you closer to your goal or further away. Think about this. What drives you to eat healthy or not? What drives you to work out or not? You know what I've noticed? My emotional needs play a really big role in the motivation behind my daily choices. So, go ahead, Tessa. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's absolutely correct. I was just thinking that's what the driving factors typically are for people, is they're emotional. They eat or they act a certain way because of emotion. So that's 100% what I was going to say.
Thank you. You just helped me think of something. It just kind of went into my mind. When you were saying that, I was thinking of connection. And then I was thinking of significance. So let me kind of go off on a tangent on that. Connection, right? In other words, I'm going to speak, I want to be healthy and fit, right? Because I have high standards and want to look and feel my best. So that's one way of looking at it, right? Is that, or excuse me, that's more of a significance. So connection, I want to be healthy and fit so I can be attractive to my significant other or active with my children. There we go. That's connection. Now, when we think of significance, it's I want to be healthy and fit because I have high standards and I always want to look and feel my best. And I'm going to throw this in there since we're dealing with some folks from California and I live in Miami. They would say, no. The significance is I want to have that hourglass body so that I can enjoy the attention I get. That's the way they are in Miami, right? Or maybe it's an empowerment. I want to be an example of health to inspire others. I want my friends and family to see that if I can be healthy and fit, they can too. Or maybe it's a self-esteem thing, right? I know that what am I thinking of here? I got distracted on something. I want to feel better about myself, and I am healthier and more fit. In other words, my confidence is impacted when I am where I want to be. And then
I
if
like
you want to set a goal around that, right, Tessa, you said you like that. Consider what emotional need is motivating your current goals, right? Because at the end of the day, we're emotional beings first and foremost. Many of us would like to think and say that we make our decisions logically and intelligently. However, our emotional patterns, values, our beliefs are really what's running the show. And most of the time, sorry to admit this, it's unconscious for me. So the more we grow and expand our awareness about how we're designed, then the more interesting that life is. See, we have an incredible capacity to adapt and apply emotional leverage to support us in reaching our goals. That's it. I'm done.
That's amazing. Well, I have to say my goal has been to be toned and fit to enjoy life's adventures. So being able to go on the hikes,
like that.
It didn't tie it to, to a weight or something to that extent. It
Good.
was, I want to be fit enough to climb and hike, with my friends and family and be able to do fun things. And when I changed that goal, then things were easier. It wasn't like I was looking at the numbers. So I have to say, I completely agree with what you said.
Oh, yeah. And for those of you that know Tessa, superficiality and Tessa don't go together. Those are opposites. She doesn't have a superficial bone to her body.
I definitely couldn't be
Now,
that
me
person,
on the other
that's for
hand,
sure.
I do. I'm still growing. I'm learning,
Well, I've had so much fun with you on this show
Thank
so
you.
far. We are going to be making this a regular event. So you guys definitely hit subscribe or hit the bell to get notifications when Regan goes live. And we'll be back after my trip to Africa. I'm actually making a trip to Africa. So we'll be back online in a couple weeks.
You are going to be in Zimbabwe.
I'm in Zambia. I'm going to Zambia for 2 weeks.
Got it.
Yes, and it's going to be a blast and a lot of work too. But we will see you all when we get back, and definitely, like I said, subscribe and follow up with the folks over at Silver Swann. If you have any questions, they're there to answer, and of course, Regan's there to answer as well. All right.
Thank you so much, Tessa.
Thank you. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye.